Trish got some rest.
Hold on, hold on.
Okay.
And what's up, guys? Welcome to the Lanyap Show. I'm John. Glad to be back on this Friday. It is June 24th, 2022. Some big news coming out with the Roe versus Wade decision, and we're going to have to tackle that. We will get to that. That's not what this show is about, but we'll talk about that. But the main thing I wanted to talk about tonight was something that I seen before the Roe versus Wade decision came out, and that was the Louisiana Department of Health grooming children. There's no other way to put it. Well, that's just a Republican talking point. No, I'll explain it. We'll get into it. The Lanyap Show is a long-form podcast. If you want short news, quick and to the point, this is not the show for you unless you like to press the skip button a lot. It is the Lanyap Show. I'm going to have it here spelled out for you like this. I stream it absolutely live and free on my personal Facebook page. Find us on bitshoot.com, on Rumble, on YouTube, and the audio version of the podcast everywhere you can get a podcast. Got my dad joining me, co-hosting tonight for the show via Skype. What's up?
All right. How you doing, everybody?
I'm good and bad, man. How are you doing?
Oh, same here.
Got a lot of good things, a lot of positive things going on, and then we got some things that are like, what in the hell is going on in this world?
Yeah, I say come on November.
Well, that's a small step. It's a step, but it's a
I
small
know,
step.
but it has to get done.
Well, and then, but also, you're talking about the midterm elections, of course, but you got a lot of
Right.
Republicans in there. Look, I'll tell you, Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, he's he is supposed I'm one of his constituents. He's supposed to represent me. He doesn't at all. And he doesn't represent the majority of the people that live here that he's supposed to
Right.
represent. I've written him 3 emails. I've gotten back 2 emails from him, and they were just general blah 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 emails where you can't reply back, and they made these emails because he was getting a bunch of feedback. He was getting the people riled up,
Right.
cussing him out, so he had to make a public it wasn't an apology. He was just trying to defend his position, but he was wrong. Senator Bill Cassidy, some of you know Moon Griffon. He calls him Psycho Bill. He's a rhino Republican in name only, but I'm not even a Republican, man. I'm a libertarian. I'm about rights, individual freedom, the Constitution, and Cassidy has done several things lately, just in the last couple of years, that has totally been unconstitutional. He most recently was a part of the Senate they're passing this gun bill with the red flag laws, which is totally unconstitutional. I don't want this show to be about that, but it's just kind of where I'm starting. So my whole point was you can't even trust a lot of these people that are running as Republicans. I know you're excited. You're probably talking about red wave midterm, but some of these folks, even though they're running
Yeah.
as Republican, you can't trust them either.
Right. I totally agree.
Like to
I totally
welcome.
agree. A lot of them you can't, but I'm just hoping that we get a control that with the majority of the people you can trust, and they can outvote or outdo these other fools.
By the way, just want to welcome everybody coming on to the streaming live on my Facebook page. Again, the video will be saved and passed all throughout social media. Just letting you know what I'm drinking tonight. I got some rum. So this is rum, a very little splash of sweet and sour, and some water. And this Pampero Anniversario. It's some rum from Venezuela. I don't even know the. It's like their 25-year-old edition. I don't know, man. It's very fancy. It's not cheap. Check it out. It is absolutely delicious. Just letting you know what is going on. But it's a Venezuelan rum. I'm not super crazy about Venezuela, but I do like some of their rums, and I don't know what they do to it, whatever. It's just delicious. Just to get that out of the way. To get back what you're talking to, man, I got to look at the latest Real Clear Politics Joe Biden poll. Let's pull it up. Joe Biden's approval poll, because as of this morning when I looked at it, it was bad. It wasn't as bad as yesterday, but he was still in the hole over 16 points. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Trying to pull it up in my browser here, and of course the internet's going to take a while. I think you can talk all of this identity politics and gun control and abortion and this and that, and that's all fine and dandy political conversation, but the average American who is not engaged politically, all they know is when they go to the store, the price of milk, the price of eggs, gas, it's all going up. If the price isn't going up, then there's less in the bag. I talked to someone over the week. They said, she said, my husband bought a bag of Funyuns yesterday. And I was like, yeah? There were 4 in the bag. 4!
4.
There were 4 Funyuns. That's called shrinkflation. So to keep the price from going up too much, or maybe even trying to keep it the same, they just put less in the bag. It was all there. 4 fucking Funyuns in the bag.
Cool.
And this is only the tip of the iceberg, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the general ballot here, according to Real Clear Politics, just a general ballot for the House. They have Republicans up plus 3.4 in aggregate polling. That is huge, because I'm telling you, most of those polls lean towards Democrats by about 6, 7, 8 points. So if Republicans are showing up 3.4, oh my God, the latest. Oh, we got another poll in. It's the worst it's ever been since they've been doing these presidential approval polls. Now, granted, I don't know how long they've been aggregating them, okay? Because I'm sure they had some outliers, right? But we're talking about aggregation. Right now is the worst it's ever been. His aggregate is 17.3. Let me pull it up in the browser from Real Clear Politics. The last 10 presidential approval polls aggregated. Trafalgar coming in with the latest one at negative 25. They have them at 35% approval, 60% disapproval, but you aggregate it all. Most registered voters, some of them likely voters. You have some of these with the A's, which is basically any and everybody, and it's hard to count those. But in aggregate, that means you add them all together, you average them. Joe Biden's approval rating, his approval is at 39.1%, disapproval 56.4% for negative 17.3. He's negative 17.3 underwater. That's worse than Trump has ever been. That's worse than Nixon, I believe, ever was. That's worse than I think anybody when you look at recent, at least in recent presidential history, absolute worst. I mean, this is horrendous. That's unbelievable. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised.
Give me some feedback on this. What do you think's going on here?
What? His disapproval?
Yeah, why? Because people are going to play politics, and Democrats will support him, even though, in spite of everything. But at this point, only 39.1% approval. He's underwater 17.3%. Okay,
Right.
that's even some Democrats disapproving of him, not only being indifferent, like literally saying we do not approve of his job. They're not even saying they're
Right.
indifferent. That is huge. What do you think is contributing to all of that?
I mean, you just look around you. I mean, the gas prices is probably the highest it's ever been. I went to Walmart the other day. I had to pay right at $4 for a loaf of bread. A dozen of eggs were right at $4. I mean, you a year or so ago, you could have bought a loaf of bread for 99 cents.
Regardless of the
Uh,
politics, that's the stuff that the average American who's not tuned in, they feel that, man.
right, right. They feel it. I mean, um, shoot. I go and I sell watermelons. I go to Sugartown.
The
I've
watermelon
always
man.
gone to Sugartown. Yeah, and I always go to Sugartown. I just put $50 in my truck, which normally I would put $20 to go get them, come back, and I'll go back a couple of days. Selling like 2 days. So let's say 3 days altogether. We'd go and get them and sell them for two. Well, I wouldn't get them. I had to stop on the way back with $50. I had to stop on the way back and put more gas in it to make sure I had enough to come home. And my mileage is the exact same. It's just I'm not getting the gas. $50. I mean, come on. It didn't even. I mean, it didn't even get to half a tank.
No. And then your prices. So for people that didn't quite get it just yet, you go to a grower who grows watermelons. You pay him money.
Right.
You take
Right.
a lot of his crop of his watermelons. You put them in your trailer, and you drive into town, and you sell them out of the back of your trailer.
Right.
And you had to go up.
In other words,
You had to go up on your
I buy
prices.
them wholesale and I sell them retail.
Right, and you had to go up on your
Yeah.
prices.
Right.
That's inflation. It hits you.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have to pay more for the watermelons to get?
Absolutely.
You had to pay more.
Yes.
From
Right.
the wholesaler, from the
Right.
grower, and you essentially you would have to pay more in gas.
Right.
So that's already two things that are driving up the price of what you got to sell them for if you want to make the same amount of money that you've been making.
No. Right. Not the gas not the diesel in the tractors and nothing like that. He just told me one thing, and he told me they all went up. Your fertilizer,
Yep.
your pesticide, and your fuel all went up. But he said, just let me tell you about the fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I usually plant 4 of my fields, and he said it costs me $9,000 a year for the fertilizer. He said this year I only planted 2 because I didn't have enough money because it cost me $16,000 for what I used.
Let me ask you this:
$16,000.
When did he plant and fertilize those watermelons?
I really don't know, but I mean they don't take long to grow, so let's say maybe around Easter. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
like
because
right after Easter.
it's only getting worse right now. It's not getting better. The fertilizer's only getting worse. So it happened to watermelons. All of these crops that are supposed to come out in the fall, these cold weather
Yeah.
crops,
Uh-huh.
buddy, it is going to get rough, man. It's going to get
Yep.
rough. So, and again, just to make that point again, regardless of the politics, regardless of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight, people are getting hit where it counts the most. They
Yeah.
don't follow politics. They don't do any of that. All they know is they're going to put gas and it's sky high.
Right.
They're going to the grocery store and they've got the same size cart filled up with the same groceries that they buy all the time because the kids eat the same stuff. They like the same snacks or whatever. And it costs twice as much. You know,
Yeah.
it's insane. And they don't know much, but they know I don't like the way it's going right now. And this is who's in charge, and we got to get them out.
Right. I mean, you're talking about a mother and father that's going to go shopping with their kids, okay? And the kids are probably growing up. Let's just say, like, they might be 7, 8 years old. They've always ate this kind of cereal. They like this kind of cereal. They like, certain things. Well, and they usually get them all whenever they go grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're gonna have to pick and choose. Well, you can get one of these, but you can't get
Yep.
both.
Yep.
Because and that's the sad part. You know.
I've got a small, very small, but I've got an emergency food supply. And for some of y'all that would want to say, "Oh, John, you're crazy." Look, we get hurricanes here. Um,
Yeah.
I was now. This has been a while, but Hurricane Lily. How long did we go without electricity? Hurricane Lily, 2002, I believe it was. Didn't we go like 3 weeks without electricity? So
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe y'all did. I didn't. But
no, this was back when I lived with you. Or we at least went a couple weeks without electricity. You don't remember we had tickets to go to a Saints game, and we were so happy because the night before
yeah.
we were going to drive to Lafayette to our family's house and spend a
That's
night there, and
true.
they had air conditioning, and we were so
Right.
happy about that.
Yeah. I remember now.
You remember? I couldn't
Mhm.
graduate at my high school because the gym got wrecked from that hurricane. So we actually graduated
Right.
at St. Anne's Catholic Church in Mamu. But
Right.
but we went 2 or 3 weeks without electricity. And I mean, we have hurricanes here. There's other natural disasters. Who knows? You can get laid off. It doesn't hurt to have an emergency food supply, especially one that
Oh
lasts
no.
decades. And
Right.
the worst case scenario is the disaster actually happens and you have to use it. That's the worst case
Right.
scenario. But right now, even the prices of those things are sky high because it's just everything. It is everything.
Everything. It's just. Yeah.
All right. So while we're getting into that, talking this and that, I just got a little notification. Let me see what's going on here. All right. Oh, Kristen, we got her on board. Look, I'm glad we got some people we can count on here, man. I really, if y'all haven't seen this yet, this is what I wanted to do the show about tonight. It's been a while since I've been able to do one, and I seen this, and I was like, I have to get back to it. I got my third child on the way. That's coming in like a week,
Come
But
on, Jack.
yeah. Well, it won't be long, and I got a lot of stuff going on at home, but I had to get back on the horse because when I seen this, there's no somebody's got to say something about this. Okay, I watch some of these other creators. They talk about news and current events on their podcast, and I even sent a few of them this story, and I'm hoping that one of them will cover it, but I don't think that they will. So somebody has to, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna pull it up in my browser here, and I'm gonna start off with the big. I don't want to call it beautiful. You want to go BB, big beautiful, right?
No.
This picture, it's I don't have a huge problem with pride and this and that. Look, I don't care what anybody does in their own bedrooms as long as it's not illegal. As long as you're not doing something to somebody who doesn't consent, as long as you are two consenting adults. Now, you got to have adults, not children who can't consent because they're not old enough, they don't understand enough. But as long as you are two consenting adults, I don't care. As long as nobody's getting harmed, perfectly fine with it. None of my business. You want a month for pride for all of that, whatever. I think for the most part, I think it's silly because these corporations that do all this pride stuff, they don't care. This is just another way for them to advertise and try to get in your good graces so you buy their product. You know what I mean? They
Right.
really don't. They don't fucking care. It's just, hey, look, we celebrate Pride. They changed their logo with the Pride flag, rainbow flag, and it's now shop now, buy. It's a fucking marketing campaign. They don't really care, and so that rubs me the wrong way a little bit. But I honestly don't care about Pride and all of that. If you care about it, you like it, good for you. But there comes an issue, and I'm gonna get into it. And we're gonna get into what drag queens are and what they aren't. But let me switch it now. There's enough build up. Look at this photo. Look at this photo. There is a fucking kid offering up a fucking $1 bill to a drag queen. Now, I have seen events that have charity donations. They normally have booths set up, do they not? You still there? Or did I
Yeah.
lose? No,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
What does it look like if you go
I'm
to
li-
an event and you go into an event? They have a bunch of activities. You do stuff with St. Jude. They have auctions. But if you just want to give money, how do they take donations?
Well, they usually have a booth set up where you could go up and donate, or they may have buckets that you can dump it in. There's different things, but no, you don't
Y-
normally hand it to um a performer.
So they're handing $1 bills. $1. I don't want to. It'll probably mess up my thing if I go and try to zoom in. It is a $1 bill.
Yeah.
So what are they? What is going on? In what circumstance would you hand a drag queen a $1 bill? What is that?
Maybe in a nightclub when she's performing, maybe,
And why would a fucking
or he.
child
Well,
be
well,
handing
that
a
should
one
never
dollar
be.
bill to a drag queen? A child. You can look at this person. That's not an adult. Look at the size of the head. That's
Right.
not an adult. That is a kid.
No.
That is a kid.
But I'm like, why would the parents let him or give him the money to go do that?
Because they're fucking groomers. That's why. Do you know what groomers
Yeah.
are? I had to explain this to my wife. And my wife's very smart. And she probably knew, but she just wanted to hear
Oh,
it
I know what it
explained.
is.
You know what grooming is? They're fucking
Yep.
groomers. That's what they're doing. They're fucking grooming kids. That's why there's no other explanation. It's right there,
Right.
plain and in your face.
And that's what I'm saying with that's my issue with with pride and stuff like that. Pride week. I don't care what you do. I don't care what's your choice. But you don't groom the young children to support that. They have to make their own decision, and they want to start grooming them in school. That it's you know I don't know. I mean, before I
There's
get,
there's
I'll have to try to choose my words.
I look, I understand. I know. Because I have a bunch of friends that would it's hard to say cuz let me be honest with you. I have a bunch of friends that I would say, "Oh, well, they're LBGTQ." But also at the same time, these same people don't even care or want to be called that, right? I have
Right,
I have friends that are lesbians and they're Trump supporters and Republican voters, and they don't care. They love who they love, and they don't care about any of this other nonsense, and they don't want to be known by their sexuality. Their sexuality is not who they are as a person. They do truly love the other individual, but it's not who they are. Their whole life isn't based
right.
around it. They can live their life like a normal human being without having to shove their sexuality down your fucking throat. I remember you and me, man. We
Yep.
used to talk, and we were both correct. We were both correct, but I would say,
Yeah.
when the gay marriage issue was coming up, I was like, why are you not more okay with this? Just number one, I don't believe the government should be involved in any marriage. That's none of their fucking business. But if they are gonna be, what's everybody's got to be treated equal. Let them. And you were like, yeah, John, I understand that, but you don't understand that you give them an inch, they take a mile. You're gonna give a little
Yep.
bit, and they want more. And I was like, well, I'll get mad and bitch at them when they do try to go and take a mile. But for now, they just want to get married or whatever. And it worked, and we were both right. You were right. We got to a point where it was equal rights for everybody, and that's great, and that's beautiful, man. I 100% support that. And then it now goes to we have books. They're complaining, oh, the Republicans want to ban books. What is the book? What is the book? The book is Genderqueer. That's the name of the book, Genderqueer. I'm not going to pull it up now
Yeah.
because I don't want to slow my video down. But if you go to Amazon right now, Amazon.com, and you look up the book Genderqueer, it says 18 plus. Okay?
Yeah.
Should that be if it is, if you're okay with an 18 plus book being in a school library, should it be at the elementary library or just in the high school library? Should it just be in a special section where somebody has to have permission to get it? What do you think? Or do you think kindergartners should be able to go pick out the fucking book if it's 18 plus? You think that? What if I told
I
you
think it
inside
shouldn't be
that book?
newer.
What if I told you inside that book there were illustrations, graphic illustrations of naked humans having intercourse in the book? At what age is that appropriate? What age is that appropriate? When should they start being able to see that in their school library?
Should never be in the school library.
I mean, but some people say it should be. Okay, so what age? Can somebody tell me what age? Is there a cutoff point at all, or is there none? Is there no age where graphic illustrations of people having intercourse is off limits? Is there? You got to tell me. Or is it up to the parents? Is it up to the parents to decide? Is that the case? Well, then that's the case where the parents go to the school boards and they say, we don't want this fucking book in the library. Right?
Right.
What if I told you there was multiple paragraphs and things in there, but one of them says, I want you to put your cock in my mouth. What if I told you that was inside one of the books that they wanted to have available in the school library for K through 12? It's in the book. It's in the book. There's videos, you can go on YouTube and see this, of parents going to school board meetings reading from the book. And the school board, they're banging the gavel saying, hey, stop, you can't say that, you can't say that. They're like, that's what's in the book. That's available for elementary kids to read.
Right.
I'm not totally 100% opposed to that book being in the school library. But if it's 18 plus, the school librarian should be the only one who has access to it. And if somebody wants to check it out, it needs to be a 17 or 18-year-old. You know what I mean? And they should have to go to the school librarian personally to check it out.
You know where I think that book should be? That book should be in Love Words.
Oh, no. You shouldn't have said that because I just had to record a Love Work spot this week. Did you hear it? Is that why you're saying that?
That's what... no.
Oh, my gosh. So the guy that normally does the LoveWorks commercials on vacation, so I had to do it.
Oh, okay.
And I had to talk about women's lingeries. Yeah, lingerie is spelled lingeries. Yeah. Oh my God. So, so look up that book, by the way. Genderqueer. You can, like I said, you go to Amazon.com, look up Genderqueer. It's 18 plus. So when Republicans are Nazis, they want to ban books. We should never ban books. Blah blah blah. Open your mind. Read a book. Guys, if that is your mind state, then tell me at what age is too young for a child to see illustrations of people having intercourse. Simple as that. I want an answer. And we're not going to get none because you have people who are all pissed off and they don't know anything about it and they don't even know that's what's in the book. So to get back on this whole thing, Louisiana Department of Health. So I've had an issue with the Louisiana Department of Health for, what is it? It's over a year now. I've been bitching and screaming about them. They've totally ruined all of their credibility with the fucking vaccine and lying about the numbers and lying about, they did the whole thing. Just Joe Rogan took horse medicine and all of that whole fucking thing. I'm not bringing it, and we're not going to discuss that again because it's all, we've been through it, but they're at it again. So this event, and I'm pulling it up here. You can see it. This is their official Facebook page, folks. I'm not making this up. This is not doctored internet or anything like this. This is the Louisiana Department of Health. 12 hours ago, it's 9 p.m., so it was 9 a.m. today, June 24th, 2022. Look, you can look at their other posts. This is real. This is their official. They're still, what is the risk of COVID-19 to children? And they're still making up lies saying, yeah, you know what children are dying from COVID-19? The ones that were already on their fucking deathbeds. I hate to say it. I have a child that's about to be born soon, and, we're hoping everything is perfectly fine and stuff. But, that's what a lot of these children, it breaks my heart to say, but, they were born with problems. And they weren't going to survive it. You know what I mean? But they are using that number to pull on heartstrings to push this big form of vaccine on people. Will it help some people? Yes, absolutely. Some people need it. They'd be better off having it. Some people not so much. Some people it's indifferent. But the point is, the Louisiana Department of Health actively is engaging in lies in manipulation. We've caught them plenty of times. They've been called out plenty of times. They no longer accept comments. Or you have to see Louisiana Department of Health limited who can comment on this post right here. You can't even comment. There's a bunch of mad faces. There's likes and there's loves. You know who likes and loves this? If you go on and track them, it's all people who work for the Louisiana Department of Health. There's been 6 shares, though. Let me read this post to you. Central Louisiana hosted a family-friendly pride event at the Alexandria Convention Center. Local drag queens entertained the audience while the Office of Public Health handed out information on how to take care of your health. Attendees enjoyed live music, games, arts and crafts, and other various vendors. So they handed out pamphlets while drag queens performed. And kids gave them dollar bills. So, but I want to hear from you first. Can you explain to me what a drag queen is? Can you explain that to me?
To me?
Yeah. What is a drag queen?
I'm going to explain it in my way. It's more or less, it's a performer. It's a male performer.
You already nailed it.
That dresses like a female.
Performance. Go ahead.
Kind of like burlesque. Kind of like a burlesque dancer. But it's male dancers that's dressed like women that look like clowns.
So, and why do they do that? Why do they? Are they overemphasizing something?
Sex, yeah. They're emphasizing sex, sexuality. Put it that way.
All right. So let's
That's
talk.
That's my opinion. Now,
well, you're not wrong with any of that. I mean, let's. It is and it isn't things. If you talk to a lot of people in the LGBTQ community, even the ones that want to say that they are in the LGBTQ plus community, they'll even tell you that they don't consider drag queens part of that community. Why? And look, let me say this first before anybody gets too crazy or too offended. Let me say this. I love offensive shit. I fucking love it. I love nasty, dirty jokes and all of that. I fucking love it. I love making people uneasy. It's my favorite type of comedy, to watch somebody squirm in the corner, okay? So I don't really have much against drag. I think the problem comes in what it is, what it isn't, and why are we giving this to kids? That's the problem. That's what I'm going to break down. But just to tell you, I fucking love shit that makes people squirm, man. I love that. So I'm not some kind of prude here. I'm not a Jesus person. I'm just telling you. Let's talk about what they are, what drag queens are and what they aren't. Is drag queen a biological sex?
Nope.
Is drag queen a gender or gender identity?
Nope.
Is drag queen a sexual orientation?
Nope.
All right, and we'll break down real quick. Obviously, it's not a biological sex. It's not a gender identity because nobody's gender, I'm a drag queen. That's something they do on the weekends. It's a performance. They dress up and do it on the weekends. It's not a 24/7 thing. And then it's not a sexuality. There are straight drag queens. There are gay drag queens. So it's none of those. It's not a protected class. It's not LGBTQ. Now, there are a lot of gay males that engage and dress in drag and do those performances. I don't give a shit. That's fine. That's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's not go too crazy. It is not a protected class. Drag is a performance. Whether you like it or not, that's up to you. But it is a performance. It's not an identity. It's not a sexuality. There was a drag queen busted with child porn. McBride, shoot me a link. Okay. I seen that in the comments. That's not what this is about. This is about the Louisiana Department of Health putting on an event where children are tipping drag queens. But I don't know about that one. But you send me a link on that story. I want to hear about it. But
Okay.
so now we
But
know what drag queens aren't, and we know you said what you thought they are, and I back you up on that. Go ahead and give me your next point. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
okay. So, do you feel it's all right? It would be all right if you had drag queen performance. Do you think it's all right to bring young kids and watch this perform?
Absolutely fucking not. Not even fucking
Exactly.
close. But let's break down why, because we're gonna take it slow and we're gonna explain why. What is a drag performance? And I'm not one that gets offended by much, but I will say that it's offensive. Now, granted, I like offensive content, and sometimes, yes, I will admit, sometimes I actually do like some drag content. I do,
But you,
but I
but you're
realize
an adult,
I'm an adult. Well, yeah, we'll get to the child
right? And
aspect later. I know. That's the big point. That is the big point. But, but I let's look at what it really is. I love women. I fucking married a woman. Okay? Drag
yeah,
queens, if you want to talk about misogyny, if you want to talk about bigotry and stereotypes and truly degrading women, no feminist, no feminist would approve of drag queens, would they?
no,
It is over the top accentuated. They all have to have huge boobs. They have ridiculous hair. They all play up some of the worst stereotypes of femininity, and they all call each other bitches and hoes, etc.
right,
Now, I'm all for debauchery. I love debauchery. Don't get me wrong. But I also love women, and there's a time and place for both things. Now, I don't know. Do you know who Scott? I think is. Let me not bring up fucking names. You know what minstrel shows are?
nope,
So, back in the old timey days, a bunch of white people would get together with bands and um, other talented performers, and some of them would paint their face brown, dark brown or black, paint their lips red,
okay. I know what
and
you're talking about now.
they would put on performances that would mock black people. I'm not
Right
going to call
now,
them,
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about. I didn't know the name
minstrel shows.
of it. Okay,
Is that not almost the same exact thing that these people are doing, except instead of black people, it's women and catty women?
right, it is.
It's a fucking minstrel performance, folks. Let's just be honest for what it is. If you like it, that's okay. I admit, I do. I like some John Waters movies and Divine. I like Pink Flamingos. I think it's a legendary piece of cinema. But just be honest for what it is. I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. You think I'm letting either one of them watch Pink Flamingos? Fuck no.
Oh,
No. Will I be okay with them watching it later when they're older? Absolutely. Just not now. Oh, there we go. I got the link. He sent me the link. Y'all see that? Oh, man, I didn't. Sorry, dude, I didn't want your whole name on there. Let me pull it down now. It was a quick little deal. But he's sending me the link. I'm gonna check that out, man. That is, I we're gonna again. We'll get to the child part in a second, but we gotta be honest about what drag queens are. We have to. That this is a very instrumental part of the discussion. I'm not opposed to drag queens. I'm not opposed to what people want to do. As long as it's not illegal, they're not hurting anybody, I have absolutely no problem with it. So, we've established that it's not a sex, it's not a gender identity, it's not a sexual orientation. It is not it is very degrading towards women. It's basically a minstrel show where they are promoting a bunch of bigoted and misogynistic stereotypes of women.
okay.
I guess the next part is the sexualization, right?
Right.
Or tell me what you know about that. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that part is, I mean, it's almost, like I said, it's almost like burlesque dancing, which is a lot like stripping, but they don't go as far as the strippers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But my thing is they always, the society is always worried about offending people, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they're gonna put up with the drag queens, which should be offending most women. But
Should
then the
be.
Washington Redskins had to change their name because Redskins offended the Indians.
And most Native American groups didn't give two shits, and some of them felt honored. But there was, I believe, at least one
Right.
group that did claim that they were offended. So
But I mean, this was for years and years
they could have picked a better name
that
too.
they had been
What's their
trying to
name
change it.
now? Their name is shit. Oh, I forget whatever it
The
is.
general.
The General.
The general.
That's like one of
Yeah.
the. If you created a team on Madden back in 1995, that was one of them you could pick.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Washington Generals like the team that the Globetrotters beat up on for decades.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
So,
That's a terrible name.
but getting back to where we were, I'm thinking it's more. It's kind of like burlesque. I mean, I've never seen I don't think I've ever seen a drag show. I've seen a burlesque show, and I mean, some are more exotic than others,
Mm-hmm.
but depending on the performer, I guess. So I mean, like I never seen live drag show. I've seen where they show on TV. So, my opinion is the performance kind of like
Hold
burlesque,
on.
but
If get a little bit closer to the phone. I know you got us on speaker, but you're making a good point. So, get closer and make sure you make it so we can hear better.
right. So to me, that's what it is. It's kind of like a burlesque performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Now, would you bring your kids to a burlesque show?
No, absolutely not. Because I've been to some performers. I mean, just the movements, the bumping and grinding. I don't think kids need to see, but they I mean, they'll take everything off. They'll have tassels maybe over their breast, but you know, and not all of them do, but some of them do. So no, I would not bring a kid to a burlesque show. No.
Why would someone do that?
Well,
That why? Why would
I
somebody do that?
don't
Why would somebody bring their kid to that shit?
because they would have a different parenting view than I do. Some people look at the human body as just a human body. It's nothing. I mean, that's like nudist colonies. They walk around because it's nothing.
Well, if it's
I
nothing,
don't
why
know
are
the
they
way that they
shaking
look
it
at it.
and asking to get money in between
Well,
the breasts and
yeah,
shit?
well, I
And in the
understand that, but I'm just saying. No, I'm
that's
saying the
bullshit. I'm
people.
calling bullshit on. I know you're saying that's their explanation, but I'm calling bullshit on their
Right.
explanation because
Yeah.
if it's nothing, if the ass is
Was
the bare naked ass is nothing, then you wouldn't be shaking it.
right. No, but I'm talking about the people bring it. Why would they bring their kids to it?
Yeah.
Because they think it's nothing to it.
Or
The
maybe they do.
naked person.
Maybe they do think there's something to it and they're trying to fucking groom their kids.
Well, maybe that too. Yeah.
This is what he sent me. Pennsylvania drag queen who performed for children charged with 25 counts of child pornography. This is from the Daily Caller. Um, Bryce Patrick Rishan Williams was charged with 25 counts of child pornography, 18 counts of criminal use of communications facility. Bail set at $100,000. Williams is unable to post bail, according to the docket. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm just letting people know this is out there. This is from the Daily
100,000.
Caller. This is 6/24/22. Is that today? This is a story from today. So this isn't something he
Yeah.
dug up. This just came out. Okay, maybe we should
Right.
maybe we should focus more on this. I take that back. So the National Center
I
for
think
Missing. Yeah, go ahead.
the bail should be $100 million, not 100,000. Make sure that sucker don't come out.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children submitted a tip to the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General's Child Predator Section in May 18th, 2020, reporting that 76 files containing child pornography were uploaded to a Dropbox file. The Dropbox account was linked to a person named Anastasia Diamond. That's Williams' stage name. A search warrant for Williams' home was obtained by Special Agent Travis Nye on June 22nd, 2020. It took them fucking over 2 years to get a search warrant.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They carried it out early Thursday morning. During an interview with police that morning, Bryce denied having ever uploaded, downloaded, sought child pornography, according to a criminal complaint obtained Friday by the Daily Caller. In a preview of Bryce Samsung Note 9, located in his bedroom, at least 25 videos of child pornography were located. 25 videos. Okay, so this is not even like you clicked on the wrong thing. You clicked on the wrong thing and
Right.
maybe you were looking up just regular porn or something and you accidentally
Right.
clicked
And
on the wrong link and got one bad thing and you're like, what the fuck is this? And X'd out of it.
right. No,
25 video files were located of child porn on the phone. This is someone that has a problem.
Yeah.
A Facebook profile for the performances shows Williams encouraging residents of Franklin County, Pennsylvania, to take a survey to, quote, help LGBTQ organizations develop programs that best serve our community. I'm telling you, no matter how you feel about LGBTQ plus, etc., I don't consider drag queens part of that, and I don't think they should be considered part of that. That is absurd to me. I don't think this is
I don't
something
think so neither.
totally different. Totally different. We have family members. I have friends who.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is something totally different. This is a perform. And again, you like burlesque? Awesome. You like drag
Yeah.
queens and stuff? Awesome. But be honest about what it is. That's the whole thing. Can we be honest about this? Let's be honest. So the Louisiana Department of Health event, Central Louisiana, they're putting on an event. This is supposed to, I'm assuming it's free. It's supposed to, let's see what they say. They entertain the audience. They handed out information on how to take care of your health. Handed out information. So they were just given little, when you go to the health unit, you know those little booklets you can pick up? That's the fucking shit that they gave them. They just
What
gave
they were
them health
giving
unit
them about
booklets.
how to prevent monkeypox and
Well, you know how to prevent monkeypox, right? Do you
I
laugh?
don't know.
You know how to prevent it. Don't let them scare you about monkeypox. There's I
Yeah.
mean, you get it from bodily fluids.
Yeah.
And right now, and let's be honest about what it is, because you know why? Because if we are honest about this right now, we can actually save lives, as opposed to the Louisiana Department of Health, who are dishonest, which could lead to people dying.
Right.
Monkeypox is predominant in the male gay community and is often spread through gay sex with males.
Right.
It's a body fluid transmission. Okay? It's
But
prevalent.
that's exactly how AIDS started.
It's in those communities. Now, if you are a lesbian and your lesbian partner doesn't have any body fluid swapping with anybody else, and you don't have any body fluid swapping with anybody else, there's no way you can get monkeypox.
Right.
If you are a heterosexual couple and you don't have any body fluid swapping with anybody else but your wife or whatever, there's no way you're going to get it. If you are a gay couple and you and your partner don't have monkeypox right now, and y'all don't swap fluids with anybody else, you're not going to get monkeypox. Ta-da!
Okay. But that's exactly how AIDS started. Then it spread like wildfire because
people not
they got
telling other
people-
people, orgies, and,
Yep.
and multiple people, and people not telling other
Mhm.
people about their condition.
upside down pineapples and
Yikes. So
what?
the rest of this,
You know about the upside down pineapple,
I don't know. Well, I'm not. Maybe I was thinking the wrong thing. You gonna tell me about the upside down pineapple? I don't know what this is.
huh?
Go ahead.
Upside down pineapple is it's a sign for swingers.
Oh, okay. I never heard of that. Huh. They had that in that trailer park in Mamu?
Yeah,
They did?
the swingers trailer park.
Yeah.
They got a big upside down pineapple on the sign.
Bring your house, trade your spouse, baby. No, but I mean, in all
No, they
seriousness,
don't have it.
in all seriousness, if that's what you want to do, whatever, that's cool, whatever. But please be safe, y'all. Protect yourself, and in this time where there is monkeypox going around and it's a problem now, you may want to cut back and just stay to your own, your own circle there.
Your
you know
own
what I mean?
group or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Just cut back. Just tone it down a little bit. But back to this Louisiana Department of Health event. So they're passing around the little pamphlets you get at the fucking health unit and claiming that they're educating the public. They also said attendees enjoyed live music, games, arts and crafts, and other various vendors. I don't know what any of that is. There's not any description here of the event, and I'll be honest. I should have went go track this down a little bit more and search. And I don't know who put it on, but find out who put it on. I've got nothing against a pride event, and if you want to give out information for people in the LGBTQ community who has some specific issues, they have some specific health issues that may be unique to them because they are a member of the LGBTQ community. I have no problem with them having special events during Pride Month to talk about their specific issues. That's a wonderful thing to me. I'm all good for people, being healthy or whatever. But that doesn't look like what this is. If we can go back here, we looked at this picture. They have now, there's one thing I can say about this is it's going to give it a second to load here. At least this drag queen had like long sleeves and a full on like shirt that went down. It said drag queen, so there was multiple there. I don't have any pictures of any other ones there. I can only hope they had as much clothing on as this person did. I think this is fine. This person looking like this, totally fine. Yeah, it's a little bit out there, but I just, almost kind of look like that in high school with the hair at least, you know what I mean? There's nothing.
But
go ahead.
Don't they have a program in Lafayette where drag queens read to little kids?
Well, that got shut down. They tried to do it, and the public said no. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Okay.
And the Lafayette Library has never been the same since. Their funding and all of that has people swore off the Lafayette Library since then. I've got another issue with libraries. Maybe that's another show. I think they're getting outdated and they're becoming a waste of taxpayer money. I think there should be like one every now and again here and there that do keep books and stuff, but with everything so digital, most of the libraries probably do need to shut down, and you just keep one every so often as you travel throughout the state. And but they're always like they're doing like Lego Club and shit just to try to stay relevant, to try to get people to go and sign up and spend money because they can't make money any other way. And that I mean, that's just a laissez-faire economic system. It's time for them to go the way of the dinosaurs. You keep a few around for documentation. The government, I'm okay with one in like every major city or something, but you don't need multiple wings of a fucking library that, I mean, they just make up excuses. Oh, we're doing summer camps where kids come for 2 hours and they do fucking origami. Yeah. Oh, that's fucking great. What a waste of fucking money that is, Like, it's irrelevant. So let's look at another picture here. Couple of guys. He's wearing a pride shirt. He's just wearing normal clothing. They got a wheel. Louisiana Department of Health hub. Just in case you were wondering whether or not it was something else that the Louisiana Department of Health was sharing and they didn't sponsor. No, this is an LDH sponsored event. STDs, which I'm totally fine. You want to hand out pamphlets on STDs during Pride Month for a community that could be more vulnerable? 100%. I'm all for it. Let's educate the public. 100%, right?
Yeah.
They have, I don't know what all these other pamphlets are. You can't really see them. We'll try to get to another picture here. So this is a bunch of pamphlets. Nicotine. Okay. You want to educate the public against nicotine? That's good.
Yeah.
I guess you could. I guess that is kind of okay information for kids too. I don't think I would be too opposed to that, to giving kids information. Oh, nicotine. What does this say? I'm getting really close here. Opioid. Okay. That's more for adults. I don't think there's many kids that are opioid dependent unless they come out of the womb that way or something. But okay, that's good. They're giving pamphlets. This
Yeah.
this is a convention center that they opened up,
Well, that's
and
good. I mean, it,
they have a bunch of pamphlets out, and then they just fucking had drag queens running around, and they were encouraging
right.
kids to give them fucking $1 bills. You know, like
It,
where does the
yeah.
kids come in all of this? Why are there kids
Right.
there? And if you look, I know it's hard to see, but if you look where I'm pointing with my mouse pointer here, oh, I may be in the way. I'm gonna move myself to a different spot. Just give me a few seconds here, folks, watching this stream. I'm gonna move myself here, and if you see, there is another kid here. This is a child in a pink shirt. I think that child may actually have purple hair. And this is a child. I mean, I'm talking. You can tell this is young. This is which, hey, I have a 7 and a 5-year-old, and if they want red hair, purple hair, or whatever, what the fuck, we'll fucking do it. I don't care. Who gives a shit? Um, the hair doesn't matter. But again, why is this child here to get pamphlets about fucking STDs and syphilis and opioid addiction? What do they have to do with that? And nicotine. I'm okay with the nicotine thing, but I mean, the kids are smoking cigarettes at 5 and 6 years old. Maybe it's good to educate them about that, I guess. But what is going on here in this picture? That's what I want to know. What's going on with that?
Mhm.
I Oh,
Well, when
we got another Chris in the chat, man. I just want to say what's up, dude. What's up, Fall?
when they gonna when they gonna have a heterosexual month?
Well, that's every month, but Pride Month. That's every month. You know, because
That's
we're so
every month.
privileged. You know, I don't know if I ever made this point on this show, and I want to say this. I was watching the Disney Channel a while back, and this was actually a few years ago, and they were running this ad. It wasn't an ad. It was just a Disney Channel promo. And there was this song that says, "Do it for your people, do it for your pride." And they were showing a bunch of diverse cast, and you know, I get it. You want pride in your community. Hey, we're Cajuns. All right. We even like to scratch our own backs and pat ourselves on the back and talk about all the cool things Cajuns do, et cetera, right? You know, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. Everybody likes to be pandered to. Everybody likes their back scratched. But the message of that was to tell your kids to do it for your people, do it for your pride, right? You're
Right.
playing this for everybody. I mean, at least still, at the very least, what is it? Still 60% of the United States are white Americans. Are you telling white Americans to do it for their people and to do it for white pride? Is that what you're saying in this commercial? Like,
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? They went so woke. You understand what I'm saying? They went so woke with this,
Hmm.
do it for your people, do it for your pride, blah, 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 blah. And they're showing it, but like, most of your audience is white. So you want white people to do it for their pride? You want white pride too? No, you can't have like
Right.
that. No, right?
Yeah.
Well, and so am I supposed to tell my child, is it like, or I got to turn when that commercial comes on? Do I tell my child, no, but you're white. You can't do it for your people. You can't do it for white pride. Don't do, no, you're different. Do I do that or do I just turn it off? Well, you can't turn it off because it's supposed to be pro diversity. You know, like
Yeah.
it's such a bad man. I don't even know what to say about that. It's a bad attempt And a lot of this shit is half-ass because they're trying to play to an audience to make more money. At
Right.
the very end of the day, they're just trying to make more fucking money and they
It's
don't give a
all
shit.
the yeah. It's all about the mighty dollar.
I think and I'll be honest with you, to kind of start to wrap up this show and this topic at least, I think that's what this event was about. I think this event was to cater and to a specific part of the population. It's all about the money, and it what do you call it? I want to call it grifting, but there's another pander. They're pandering, right?
And yeah.
They are pandering to a specific part of the population to gain popularity. That's all this is.
Right.
This is pandering. They're not doing anything. Whatever event they had was fucking
Or
dumb.
donation.
There was probably 10 people that went there. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, at least two kids were drugged there. But there was probably 10 people total that went there. It's the same fucking pamphlets you can pick up at the health unit. Nothing happened to this shit except they gave some drag queens some money for some bullshit. There was 6 shares on this post, and I want to get to that. I'm going to click on that real quick here. And I want to show you just some of the shares. Not all of them are public. The only other one I see here that's shared, it says, this person shared it and they say, this needs to stop. Small children handing dollar bills to a drag queen isn't normal and should never be viewed as normal. There was 8 comments to this, and we're going to click all comments here. And hopefully this will load pretty soon. Maybe I shouldn't have did that. Okay. Somebody said this is bullshit. Somebody said, I'm surprised this went down in Alexandria. I lived there for years, and this type of event doesn't flow with its citizens. Somebody said, why are you giving the man money? Is it to buy things? Because they're sick. That's why. They're not buying anything with a $1 bill. Joe Biden's economy, $1 bill doesn't buy shit. What the fuck? They're not buying nothing. I guess you're against gay people then. But they're making a joke. This person totally understands why they giving them money. One has nothing to do with the other. Grown men wearing women's clothes and performing for young children to receive money is wrong. These groomers are wrong, along with their parents, for allowing it. Groomers, why weren't the police phoned in if there were pedophiles? The bad cops don't do nothing about pedos. Yeah, I agree. The cops should be breaking into that fucking joint. Because people think this is normal and okay. They have people in other states bringing kids to drag shows and bars. It's disgusting. Somebody else said ridiculous. Just to touch on grooming again. So I know you know what grooming is, but for anyone who might have some kind of mental quandary about grooming is when you give a crumb to someone and they take it and you're like, oh my God, that was so awesome. You were so awesome for taking that crumb. That was great. I'm very proud of you. Then a little while later, you give them an even bigger crumb. And they go and they take that bigger crumb and you're like, oh my God, that was awesome. You're so great. I'm so proud of you. And then a little while later, you give them, they do it for models, right? At first, they just meet some girl on the street, and they're like, hey, you want to do some modeling? And she's like, yeah, you say I'm pretty okay. That's very flattering. I guess I'll take a couple pictures, but I don't want to do any bikinis or nightgowns or anything like that. Just, oh, no. We won't ask you to do anything like that. And then they take a perfectly fine thing. In a few months, and then they tell her how great. Oh man, your photo shoot was amazing. You're so beautiful. This was so popular. We got another photo shoot for you to do. What is it? Oh, it's short skirts. Don't worry, it's just short skirts. There's nothing much to it. And okay, she does it. Oh, that was so amazing. You're so beautiful. These people love it. The next time, oh, we have some evening wear for you to model. Then it's bikinis. Then it's nude. Then they're fucking doing porn. You just groom them all along the way and tell them they're beautiful and wonderful and powerful and etc. all the way through. Same thing with sexuality. You can do it. It doesn't have to be sexual. It doesn't. I mean, you can groom people for anything if you follow the process and you go through it piece by piece. And it's just mind manipulation, man. And that's what these 6 fucks out there do. You still out there?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. What you thinking?
I, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know no more.
This is the world we're in. This is
Yeah.
so. This is the Louisiana Department of Health. Can you have
Me,
any trust in them at all?
no. You know,
You're about to say something. Go
I'm,
ahead.
yeah. You know, when I was young, okay, I'm saying, 15, 16 years old. I can remember watching. We were sitting down watching TV, and my grandmother got disgusted with a commercial, and so did my mom. And I mean, they more or less said, "Y'all gonna turn that TV, and we're not watching that. This, or y'all turn that channel." It was a commercial for a bra. Okay,
Mm.
the woman didn't have the bra on. They showed a picture of a bra, and they called it the Cross Your Heart bra.
Uh,
Okay, there was no Victoria's Secret
mm.
models on the TV. There was nothing. It was just a picture of a bra. And at that time, I said, "Man, y'all crazy." That's it just. But that's what I thought to myself, and they were disgusted with that.
Yeah.
Man, what the nowadays what you see on TV, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And for the longest time, I've been a proponent of you got to watch everything. Don't believe it, but just take all their information and try to sort out so you can find the
Bra.
truth because
Yeah,
that's the best way. But
yeah.
lately, man, I've been seeing what's been going on. Like I'm at the point where don't even watch TV. Just turn that shit off. Just cancel your
Yeah.
cable, cancel it, cut it out. Watch some YouTube. Watch whatever you can get free. If you really like Stranger Things, get Netflix just to watch Stranger Things and cancel your subscription or whatever. Subscribe to the Daily Wire. Have you watched What Is a Woman yet?
No.
I have I fucking bought the subscription. I bought a year subscription
On
to
what?
Daily Wire, and I don't mind. You have to get a subscription to Daily Wire, and you can either do it monthly and update. You have to pay money. Are you coming to my house
Yeah.
anytime soon? Because if you are,
Probably.
I
Yeah.
want you to watch
Probably
this with
next
me.
week.
I want you to watch
Okay.
this with me. It's about an hour and a half. It's a documentary called "What Is a Woman." Already paid for it. I want to watch it again. And I don't mind
Okay.
because it's a subscription only, right? The Daily Wire. They're a conservative network. They are starting to do their own media. They have news articles and stuff, but they're starting to do their own movies, their own documentaries, and I don't mind giving them my money. And this is what really convinced me. Okay,
Mhm.
I wanted to watch it. I heard a bunch of people talking about it, saying how great it was, and then I heard um, of a couple of jackasses saying, "Oh, I won't even watch that. That's conservative Daily Wire. Blah 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 blah. Bunch of fucking bigots. Blah blah blah." So I'm like, "Well, I'm not taking your opinion for granted. I already know where you stand." So,
Mhm.
um, but I didn't want to pay. I didn't want to subscribe, and it's like behind a paywall. Well, I
Right.
read a tweet. Somebody said, "You have a Netflix subscription. You have an HBO Max subscription. You got a Hulu subscription. You got Paramount Plus subscription. all these fucking companies hate you. They're constantly pushing a bunch of agendas that go against you. They go against your ideology. They're trying to groom your fucking kids. The Daily Wire is a conservative outlet that actually likes you and promotes your ideology. But you don't want to give us money for our documentaries? And I was like, that's a fucking great point. So I spent, I don't know what it was, $100-something or whatever. I bought a year subscription. I can read some of their articles or whatever. They got a couple of movies that came out. But the documentary, I tell you what, even if I never look at anything Daily Wire and I only spent $100-something on this documentary, it was worth every fucking penny. The documentary is called What is a Woman? And you would be blown away at the amount of people that can't fucking answer that question. So, as we get closer to the end of this, what is a woman? You tell me what a woman is. Well, this should be pretty good. Yeah, what is a woman?
A woman is a gift from God.
Have mercy. Yeah, I know McBride, you can get on like torrents and go on the dark web or whatever, I don't know, some of this other shit and illegally get it. But so I'll tell you, a woman is any human without a Y chromosome. That's what a woman is. So that's the answer. It comes down to the chromosomes. It's right there in your biology. That's what a woman is. The difference is, some people say, a woman is someone who likes to vacuum and fold clothes and blah blah. Well, that's fucking bullshit. No. That's a stereotype. You know what I mean? They making their worldview based on stereotype. Well, a woman is what anybody that claims that they're a woman. Okay, they're claiming that they're a woman, right? Yeah. So what is that? What are they claiming to be? Well, a woman. Well, what is a woman? Well, the woman is whatever they claim they are. Like, no, you're talking in circles. It doesn't fucking work. Tell me what a woman is. A woman is anyone. Well, you know, there you have the discussion too, where it's like, well, menstruation. Not everybody can, you know, or not everybody's sex organs work, and it just because it doesn't work or doesn't function properly doesn't mean you're not that sex of a being, right?
Right.
You know,
right.
Just if you're a man, you got testes and a penis, but you're not fertile, you can't produce any kids. It doesn't mean that you're not a man because they don't function properly. You still have them. Because they would say, well,
right.
You know, anyone who menstruates is a woman. Well, what when they go through menopause or whatever? Yeah, well, no, but they're still a woman. It's not about the function. That's bullshit. This bullshit. Anyone without a Y chromosome, a human without a Y chromosome, is a woman. Plain and simple. You know, when because they only discovered in the course of human history, they've only recently discovered chromosomes, right?
Right.
And you have XX and XY. So you have pairs, and there's only 2 chromosomes, and you have like XX and XY. Well, fucking, that's it. There's 72 genders and counting, but there's only 2 fucking types of chromosomes. So when they came up with, well, there's only 2 types of chromosomes, then the people go, holy shit, there's only 2? I thought there should have been 70 fucking something different types of chromosomes. No, there's only 2, bruh. You know what I mean?
That's like, why I think there's only 2 genders.
Did it blow everybody, all these scientists' minds that there was only 2 chromosomes when there was so many different types of gender? No. It's because the whole gender is based on stereotypical culture bullshit.
Right.
It's not fucking cemented real shit. And anybody, look, I've said this plenty of times. To me, what's your first name? You are what your first name is. I don't, and all your different character traits are your character traits, but you are who you are. You're Peter, you're Peter. You're Paul, you're Paul. You're Pauline, you're Pauline, whatever, and your character traits. It doesn't. You
Hmm.
don't have to fit into a certain box. That whole thing is
Right.
bullshit. And I do agree that gender is created by culture, but that means it's fucking bullshit. So you just go back to biology, something you can actually prove, and there's only two chromosomes. And a woman is someone without a Y chromosome. Period. That's it. That's it. That's it, and that's all. It does. After that, it doesn't fucking matter. But you would be amazed at the people who just can't answer and refuse to answer, who get called out on their bullshit. That's half the documentary. The other half of the documentary is when they start talking about um, gender affirming and doing like surgeries and medical intervention on kids 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, removing their breasts and feeding them with a bunch of fucking pills and hormones to stunt their process.
Maturity.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that shit has permanent damage, and they're trying to claim, well, oh no, it doesn't. Your puberty will just start. You take puberty blockers, it just blocks it, and as soon as you stop taking them, it'll start right back up, and everything will go back to normal. No, fucking, it doesn't work. The same medication that they use for that is the same medication some places use to fucking chemically castrate sex offenders. It's the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it it's bullshit. So, anyways, I'm getting too long in this, but uh, you're gonna come. We're gonna watch the documentary. What is a Woman? I think it's
Okay.
phenomenal. It's done by Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire. It could be better. I give it an 8 out of 10. But nowadays, when you look at all the fucking content being put out, 8 out of 10 is pretty damn good. McBride says it's free on Facebook. You might be able to find it before I can even show it to you. But anyways, um, all right, man. It's been fun. It's been fun getting back to this and
Yeah.
doing this. Oh, all right. Well, I think we covered some topics. I appreciate everybody that came in the chat and gave us some of their input. And folks, I'm starting to do some of the today's crazy news stuff again, starting to get back into things. Now, I'm about to have my third child on the way, and that'll probably put a little wrench in the system, but a lot of things in my life have changed recently, and I'm hoping that means I can do more videos like this. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited. Hopefully, more shows coming soon. Lanyap Show. Lanyap means a little something extra. It's absolutely free. Get it on bitshoot.com. YouTube, on Rumble, and anywhere you get your audio podcasts, it is available. Dad, I'd like to thank you for joining me, man, for this show. It's been
All
fun.
right. It was fun.
Go sell some more
And
watermelons, man.
bonsoir, everybody.
Bonsoir. All right, we're gonna wrap this up, y'all. Thanks for watching.